Yes.
Namaste, everyone. Even though we are remotely connected, I thought I'll give you a quick 10-minute presentation of how we approach yoga. So I have a PowerPoint presentation that I'll share with you on screen, and then we'll go on to a few practices. So here we go. Okay, so people come to yoga for total wellness. And we say total wellness, it's more than the body and mind. So I just want to share with you a conversation Prime Minister Narendra Modi had with Fareed Zakaria of CNN going back in 2015 when the first International Day of Yoga was done and he was visiting the US. At that time, Fareed Zakaria asked the Prime Minister, he had about 30 seconds towards the end of his interview. So he asked him, actually he had about 10 seconds. So he told him, in about 10 seconds, can you say why yoga is useful? So Prime Minister Modi replied that normally when we are functioning, we are thinking in terms of the body doing various things. But when you do your yoga regularly, the body and mind work together. So that was his response. But of course, for the body and mind to work together, the key element is the spirit has to be integrated with the mind and body.
Okay.
Otherwise, the mind will go astray. Somebody is saying something, Prasanna? Okay, I'm going to mute over there. Okay. So the idea of yogic wellness is it should be spiritual wellness along with mental and physical wellness, and that comes from a view of the nature of existence from yoga. And this is the view of the Yoga Sutras. And of course, Yoga Sutra gives certain amount of details, but wherever it is missing, the Sankhya Sutras help us to understand deeply. The starting position is Ishvara, or the Parama Purusha or Sattva Purusha as it's called. And that is from where everything begins. And the first creation is called Prakriti. And Prakriti, you can think of it in some traditions, they call it as the Divine Mother. And from there, the first cosmic chitta is created. Now, this distinction comes from the Sankhya philosophy. In the yoga philosophy, Prakriti and the cosmic chitta, they are not separated and integrated and explained separately. With the intent of the Prakriti working through the cosmic chitta, it creates many individual chittas like you and me. And of course, there is also the zone of inanimate creations and the kind of creations that don't take a body. And this is the subtle zone, what we call zone B, the zone of Prakriti. And out of this comes the physical world. In the physical world, when the individual chitta, the individual program being that you are, you can call it as the spirit, that when it comes into the three-dimensional world, it comes in the form of electromagnetic vibrations. Then, of course, it enters the gross body and makes you who you are. And this, of course, is the zone of the physical world. Now, for a sentient being, the thinking being like you and me, besides the spirit, the individual chitta over there being connected to Prakriti, it has an independent second connection directly into God or Purusha. So, a sentient being having both these connections together, as the Yoga Sutra explains, that when you're able to still your connection with Prakriti, in other words, you quieten yourself, then you're able to connect into God. That is the state of Samadhi. And in that Samadhi state, you have great clarity in who you are, what is the purpose of your life. So when we talk about total wellness, we talk about spiritual health that drives mental health and physical health. And of course, different systems of medicine, how they approach, so I won't go over there. But I do want to mention that the spiritual connection happens through what you can see, the red line over here. The red line is what is called the Udana Vayu. And the Udana connects through the spiritual heart, where you see as the big star over there, going through the top of the head. The red star is the spiritual heart in the sternum area. And the Samana Vayu flows through the middle of the body. And the Samana Vayu is the integration of the Ida and Pingala Nadi in yoga. And then, of course, everything can function only because of the Prana Vayu. And the Prana Vayu runs along the spine, and working with the brain is the central nervous system. The communication within the central nervous system is called the Prana Vayu, right? So with that understanding of the 7 chakras, what we do is, of course, in the Ayurvedic and Chinese medicine system, they do the 3-finger measurement over there to understand the vibration that is coming into the body. Whereas these days we have electrophotonic imaging to go and measure it. And of course, it gives you about 40 organ systems in which we can get quantitative measure. However, if we are going to look at the spiritual domain, we have the newest tools available, which is called the Metatron. And through the Metatron, we can actually look at your spiritual being, the connection, the communication from the spiritual being into the physical body, into different organs of the body, where we can see how it connects into the communication that is coming into the coronary arteries in the heart. And this is, of course, a picture out of the report that the system generates. And we can also see how it affects the brain, every part of the body, some 450 systems of the body, going from major organ systems down to the smallest level. So with that, I'm going to, and this is, of course, just examples of bronchial network. This is going into the capillaries and the blood vessels. You can look at the trachea and all of this. So now a quick review of how we work with yoga is anchoring to the spirituality. To make that happen, what kind of practices can we do? Of course, we begin in the way in which we do chakra vibrations in the beginning. What do the chakra vibrations do? It works along the Sushumna Nadi, and as a result of which it balances your inner intent with the external environment and balances you within. And of course, that has the effect of the inner element is the spiritual intent. Now, of course, the meditation in the end is even deeper, but we do that in the end. Now, why do we do that in the end? Because spinal alignment is extremely important, because spinal alignment is what allows the prana vayu to become more stimulated and be in its optimal balance. When the prana vayu or the vitality in the system is optimal, then in which case even the meditation, everything will be better. You can enhance the vitality with breathing. So the next element that comes in, and then of course you can go into transcendental meditation, the power of affirmation, and this is the sequence that we generally follow in our yoga regimens. Now, most schools of yoga don't pay as much attention to sound vibrations, but we pay a lot of attention to sound vibrations. When you use sound vibrations along with spinal alignment, you will find it is even more effective. Same thing you can do with breathing techniques too. So in this short session we have, I will focus on the unique elements that will be very helpful for you as a demonstration. There is one last thing I do want to say before we go away from here is, but each of you have busy lives of your own. And so when you're gone from here and on a daily basis, what are the ways in which you can keep yourself in good shape? Well, always watch your posture, no matter where you are, and keep the posture straight. That spinal alignment will always keep the energy flowing well. Watch your breath and make a conscious effort to make sure the breath is always smooth and slow. And make sure you never wake up with an alarm. You get your full zone of sleep, full requirement of sleep. And when you wake up first thing in the morning, don't just jump out of bed, but stay there and feel yourself and kind of drift into a meditative mode, whether it is for a few minutes or longer than a few minutes, doesn't matter. And wake up only when you feel fully energized and ready for the day. And the last item is eat only when you're hungry, and don't be a social eater just because people are all eating and you want to force this thing. Don't eat that way. What you can do is, if you're not hungry, sip some water or something liquid, and the hunger may get generated from that. Then in which case you can eat, but wait till hunger comes before you eat. And by the same token, if you see something and you don't feel like eating, don't force yourself to eat because somebody tells you it's good for your health. There is a saying in the yogic tradition: if you eat something that doesn't appeal to you, it will never digest and work positively for you. So with that as the presentation component, now we can go on to our practice. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen here. And so we'll begin with chakra vibrations. So when we do the chakra vibrations, we work along from the perineum, the Muladhara, all the way to the top of the middle of the head. Top of the middle of the head, from here, the Sahasrara rises up with the Om vibration. But when we begin from the Muladhara, the perineum. And all the chakras are along the middle of the body. There are some schools of yoga that focus only along the spine. There are some reasons for it that I don't want to get into, but we will focus along the middle of the body. So bring your awareness to the perineum, and so pressing on the little finger with the thumb. As you squeeze at the perineum, we will do Lam. So first take a deep breath in. Lam. Lam. Hopefully you're all joining me. Continue, and you can say it loudly, no problem. Lam. 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 Release your fingers and continue. Lam. Lam. Last time. Lam. Observe the change that is already coming into you, and we have only done one chakra. Bring the awareness an inch above the perineum, and this is behind the pubic area in the middle of the body. And here we attempt to squeeze from front to back. And as we squeeze there, we do Vam, pressing on the ring finger with the thumb. Vam. 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 Release the finger. Continue. One. Last time. One. Now bring the awareness behind the navel in the middle of the body, and there we do rum, pressing on the middle finger with the thumb as you draw in at the navel. Rum. 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 Release the fingers. Continue. Now bring the awareness to the middle of the chest, in between the breasts, and here we do yum, pressing on the index finger with the thumb. Yum. Yum. Release your fingers. Continue. Yum. 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 Bring the awareness to the throat, and here we do hum. Keep the thumbs up with a half closed fist. Hum. Release your hand. Continue. Hum. Hum. Last time. Hum. Bring your awareness to the middle of the head, and focusing there, we do chum. And there too, we keep the thumbs up as we do it. Take a deep breath in. Chum. Release the hand. Continue. Chum. Chum. Bring the awareness to the top of the middle of the head. Focusing there, we do Om with the thumbs up. Release the hand and continue. Last time. Continue to keep your eyes closed and observe within. Observe a kind of lightness or a happy, balanced feeling within yourself. Now, normally, this is an ideal state to begin pranayama practices, particularly Ujjayi pranayama. But I want to demonstrate to you things which you may not be used to, that you can see the difference. So let's do the spinal alignment. And I can see here, what I will do is, I'll put you in full mode. So it looks like all of you are seated on the floor. Anybody on chair? Well, it doesn't matter. Okay. So we are going to do the spinal alignment. And the spinal alignment, the gentle way of doing it is you can keep your hands in the just below the ribs on the back, and from this we will go to the right, left, back, and then chin down. However, that is the safest way to do it for people who are particularly elderly and fragile. However, if you're a person who wants to do a little bit more and you have the ability, then in which case you can release your hand and twist a lot more. So I will leave it to your convenience, and if there are older people, you need to make sure you keep the safe way of doing it. Okay? So I will do it in a different way because I'm sitting on a chair and the arms are there, and those of you, you can also move your hands around. So what we will do is, let's first, you can test for yourself. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, come back. Observe how you feel. Exhale, twist to the left. Observe how you feel. And inhale, come back. Now inhale, make a backward arch. See how you feel. Exhale, come back. Now bring the chin down to the chest. Observe how you feel. So you can feel it did something to your body. But now we will do this with vibration and see what remarkable changes it brings. So we can do the rightward twist with the sound ah, left ah, back ah. And when we do chin down, we will do the humming sound like kind of sound. So let's take a deep breath in and let's twist to the right as you exhale. To the left. To the back. You can keep, those of you who want to do it a little more with vigor, you can place the palm behind you on the floor or on the seat of the chair if you are seated. Take a deep breath in. Chin to the chest. Observe within yourself how the vibrations made such a big difference. Now we will do second round. We'll do it in each direction, the same thing, and see how much more it changes. Take a deep breath in to the right. Second time. To the left. Second time. To the back. Second time. Chin to the chest. Second time. Now we will do the third time. We do 3 times in each direction and see what happens. Take a deep breath into the right. To the left. to the back. Chin to the chest. Now, we will do one more thing to show the power of the vibration. What you can do is, since most of you are seated on the floor, cross one leg over the other and get hold of your knee. Take a deep breath in, and as you pull it towards the opposite shoulder, focus at the perineum, and we do lum together. And we'll do 3 breaths, 3 times. Lum. 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 Let's cross the other leg over. Lum. 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 Now you can be seated straight and bring your awareness to the top of the head, and we will end with 3 ohms over there. Take a deep breath in. Now you can slowly open your eyes a little bit. Look straight into the palm of your hands as you open your eyes. Don't open the eyes too wide, just a sliver to be functional. And observe the calmness within. And so this was a demonstration for you about how the power of vibration, when it is done with posture elements, how it makes such a big difference. Hopefully, most of you felt the difference. So we have spent about half an hour. That was the time allocated. So if there are any questions, we can take it from here. Yes, I see hand up. So I guess you'll need to come forward to the microphone. Oh, okay. I don't hear you well.
I don't get the question. The question was, colors play a big role in our life, and the person who asked the question wants to know what is the significance of color. If you could emphasize on that a little bit.
So the question is, colors play a role. So what is the significance? How do we use it? Is that the question?
On the colors of the chakra.
Actually, your voice drowns off because of the big auditorium there. I don't hear. Maybe you can type in the question in the chat box.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you well now.
Chakra is what the question is. What is the significance of the colors of the chakra? If you could explain that a little.
Okay. The colors of the chakra, particularly from the perineum Mooladhara to the Vishuddhi, are related to the 5 elements, earth to all the way to the space. Now, the part is, the color is not important within, because what happens is, what you need to experience, what you need to experience will experience on its own. So I wouldn't pay much attention to the color or visualization when you're doing it, but rather focus at the point. And if you see the colors, that is good, but don't force yourself that you have to look for a color, but focus on the point. So the colors refer the 5 elements, and the one in the head and the top go into a more spiritual domain, and that is why those colors are like violet and that kind of color that take you over there.
Does that help?
There is, since you bring the issue of color, I'll give you a larger dimension of color. Colors and borders make a very big difference in the spaces you live in the clothes you wear. Okay? So it actually creates the vibrations that makes number of changes within you. Shapes and colors are very important, but you don't need to worry about them, because what happens is, finally, in the higher spiritual awareness, none of these affect you anymore. It is only in early stages, like things like Rudraksha crystals and things may be helpful. But once your nadis are all clear, they don't do anything for you anymore, and as much as space won't affect you, colors and things won't affect you anymore.
Thank you, Dr. Narayan.
You're welcome.
Okay. I think we will go to our next presenter, Dr. Narayan. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, and namaste.